Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. First order of business, pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have an agenda. Go behind. Here you go. Consider any changes, additions, or removals to the agenda?
No.
Nothing. Comments from citizens?
Yeah, if I could,
Go ahead, Eric.
first thing, I'm not sure if this is being recorded, but it should be.
It is.
Yes, I believe it is being recorded.
Okay, it doesn't show up on my end that it is, usually that's on there.
Ms. Wu will double check.
I just wanted to, I wanted to voice a concern about the appearance of sort of lack of transparency on this matter. The last meeting, special select board meeting for this was at 8 o'clock, which makes it really difficult for public participation. After that meeting, which, was on Zoom, I'm sure if it was recorded, but there was no recording of that posted on the Chemo Valley videos, which they usually are, and there was no minutes of that meeting posted on the town website. As you know, those should be up there within 5 days or whatever. So there's really no, the last meeting, if there's no video, there's no minutes, there's nothing for folks to sort of look at and see what happened at that meeting. There also didn't appear to be any minutes posted for the select board meeting for the June 1st. I didn't see the phone there. For today's meeting, sort of the same thing, last minute, 3:30 in the afternoon meeting doesn't really allow for public participation. So that's a little concerning that this is a fairly serious issue. Public, doesn't know about it in general, it seems. People reached out to me and asked me, what the situation is, and I directed them to the town, for clarification. And, on the agenda itself, it's sort of listed as just TAA. My guess is no one really knows what that is. It's just an acronym, like what is it? What's being discussed here? So when we look at the totality of the circumstances here, really, the public in general could look at this as an appearance of impropriety, which, I'm sure is not your intention, but that's what you have, based on sort of how you conducted these past meetings on this topic. So I'm not sure where else to go with it. Just wanted to sort of put it out there. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Mr. Alden. Ms. Wu, I'd like to double ensure that all these meeting minutes are posted. I'd also like to make sure that Okemo Valley TV uploads all the video. In terms of the agenda items, the TAN, we could spell it out, I suppose, or put the price on there. That might be the better move. But we are meeting here. We have met here last week. The meeting was recorded, so I'm sure it's just a mix-up and it'll be posted immediately. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Ms. Wu?
No, thank you. I apologize if it's not posted. I will definitely follow up on that. You're at a little bit of a loss to me, and I guess that we've had the luxury of having Okemo Valley TV operate the technology. You just saw me bring up this meeting. And so I was at the helm, Eric, and I'm sorry that I didn't have the camera on. I will make sure that the recording gets posted. In terms of the time frame for some of these special meetings, we're juggling 5 different selectmen's schedules. So sometimes they'll be at 8, sometimes they'll be at 3:30, sometimes they'll be at 6, sometimes they'll be at 7. When I've reviewed minutes from the past 10 years, they've been the same. So if the board would like me to do something different in terms of making sure that they're at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, then you all let me know that. Thank you.
No. Good. No, you're good. Okay, any other comments from citizens? Moving on to review and possibly approve TAN.
So if you recall from some of our past budget meetings, the concern has been over our operating costs and the fact that our fixed costs have skyrocketed. The fact that we have revenue pending, and we are very concerned with avoiding a deficit. And so TAN stands for Tax Anticipation Note.
Thank you.
And what we have done is gone to the bank, and we have asked M&T to draw up terms for a tax anticipation note to cover some of our costs for the next couple of months to avoid a deficit. And that's where we're here. That's why we're here today.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's my understanding that TANs, although not common within the Ludlow municipality, are common across the state of Vermont. We somewhat have a perfect storm on our hands. I think this is the most delinquent property tax that we've had in a while, meaning we haven't received monies from May, some even from February, some even from November, I believe. So we're backed up on property taxes, and then FEMA still owes us $750,000 or something like that. I'm waiting for an obligated note from FEMA to have them tell us exactly how much they owe or how much they're planning on reimbursing us. I have not been able to retrieve that yet. Those two things packed together with, what Ms. Wu just alluded to. Operating expenses are out of our control, certain things. If you remember at budget season, we reworked a lot of the budget and we made it much more realistic. But these changes aren't overnight, especially when you're talking about budgetary items. They take a year or two to start instituting. If you folks were here on last meeting, we walked through what the old select boards did, which was beat down the tax rate with the leftover instead of allocating that towards an emergency fund for floods. So that wasn't happening. So when the flood happened, it took us out of the game even more. We're not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to tell people where we stand and why we're here right now talking about the TAN. Which, believe me, I don't want to be talking about it any more than anybody else wants to be talking about it. Is there anything that the gentleman would like to add to that?
I just have a question.
I
Who's the
think-
chair?
Go ahead, Jean. I am.
Okay, it was confusing to me. So you're recognizing people.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Thank
Alan.
you.
Good afternoon, Alan Couch from Meadow Street. Appreciate the discussion. Back at town meeting, I think we voted on something along the lines of, shall the select board borrow money in anticipation of collecting taxes or setting the tax rate or something to that effect. Is this in addition to the borrowing of the money to set the tax rate, or is this something separate? And what would be the interest on the note or do, I guess you guys will make this soon enough. What will the note be approximately, and the interest rate on that note, if you don't mind? Thank you.
That's any
So
questions?
that article, that article is your standard article so that a municipality can do just this. The transparency in my mind is just this. So the tax anticipation note, the terms of it are, it's a fixed rate, it's 4.98%. We will pay that back in 1 year. There is no penalty to pay it off immediately. And so when Justin mentioned the cash flow issue, that's real. The delinquent taxes a couple of weeks ago was just over $1 million owed to the town. That has started to come down with the second notification of delinquent taxes that just went out. So that will help. And this will be the priority to pay it off because of that 4.98%.
That would equate to $50,000 in interest, just to let you know, $49,800, 4.98. But the early payoff is the key, because at our last meeting, I was told our August property tax bills go out August 15th. So my estimation is we should be receiving funds around that time, given some delinquency, I'm sure. That is going to energize us to pay off this note much faster than a year, so we don't have to accrue all those interest costs.
Fred?
Is this a line of credit or is this just a flat $1 million?
It's not a line of credit. It's a
Is
loan.
that something that you should look at? Or
We explored those, and I'll refer to Ms. Wu further on that.
We went to M&T, they've always given us a great rate. They were able to turn this around in 2 weeks for us. We have a pending bill to the school district to the tune of
$7.99.
almost 800,000 still. That is due at the end of June.
So that's gonna eat up most of the $1 million?
That will not eat up all of the $1 million. That will eat up some of it. Because if you think about the cash flow, delinquent taxes, over $1 million owed to us, that's starting to come in. In July, what the select board will do, once the reappraisal's been done in Ludlow, but what we are now waiting on is the state education tax rate to be set. Did I say that right?
The state sets that rate, yeah.
So once that is set, the select board will meet. Traditionally, they've met at 8 o'clock in the morning on some early Thursday before,
To set the tax rate.
to set the
So-
tax rate.
Right.
So when that is set, then those bills go out. That creates an enormous amount of cash flow. So this $1 million hits our account as soon as the TAN is signed and the treasurer, town clerk sends it to the bank, and it will cover, once we sign that check that's owed to the school district, it will cover that and our other operating expenses. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Now, how do you anticipate paying back $1 million that you were or were not anticipating borrowing? Because now it's gonna be in the general fund, and you say you wanna pay it back within a year, right? Did I hear that right?
Hopefully sooner.
Well, how do you do that if the budget's, is this gonna be part of the tax rate that hasn't been set yet? Will that $1 million be part of that?
We will not add on that $1 million into the tax rate, is my knowledge. That $1 million is a note that needs to be repaid, and right now we're talking about a solvency issue. So normally I wouldn't be in favor of doing these types of things, but it's our duty as elected officials to make sure the town is solvent. So we have to get money to cover.
No,
things.
I get all that. and
So this-
understand,
How it
but
im-
how you gonna.
how it implicates the budget.
If we're already hurting for money
Yeah.
in cash flow, and
So-
then pile another $1 million on it, how do
Yep.
you
So we have-
anticipate paying it back?
We still have that FEMA money, there's almost 700 and something
Yeah,
thousand.
and we have outstanding 500 something and delinquent, maybe not quite that now. So the money is outstanding, debts owed to us, and we're trying to stop gap that because we don't have those monies. Is this a perfect scenario? No. Did it raise some serious questions on our end? Because I somewhat feel like we shouldn't be in this position right now. It sure does. But you know what? We understand it now, and we're gonna move forward and make sure that this type of stuff does not ever happen again.
No, it's you bringing this stuff to light, it really is, so.
So
We had no idea what was happening.
just to add to that, the way you worded it, it makes it sound like this is $1 million
extra expense, and that is not the case. These are costs that the town has already accounted for as part of that budgetary process. The issue really is the cash flow in the day-to-day operations. And so this isn't the select board going out and spending an extra $1 million above budget. That $1 million, let's just say we use all of it, that accounts for expenses that were accounted for in the budget in order to basically the property tax that would have come in per se, but we have those expenses kind of, we don't have that extra cash in the bank because of the outstanding expenses to float us that time until that. Does that make it a little clearer that it's not like we're spending on extra stuff? This is money we would have spent anyways. We just don't have the money today to spend that money.
Because we have a new budget starting July 1st,
Correct. Yes,
That money's already been appropriated,
correct.
so that's.
And that's basically what this is going to be used for, is to cover those expenses until we get that delayed taxes coming in.
So are these expenses from this year's,
This is so that we can
Compounding.
compounding a combination of us to get to when we start receiving tax.
We didn't
money in.
somehow, this TAN is not a discussion FY budget 26.
okay.
This is, I believe, years in the making, which I alluded to with beating down the tax rate over the course of the years.
Has the town ever had to entertain a TAN before? Is this the
We've done
first?
other loans. The flood, we took out a small loan to cover some expenses.
Has that been paid back?
A TAN, I'm gonna refer to Ms. Wu or maybe Ms. Cook. I'm unaware of a TAN being used in the town.
Ula has said in her 30 years, we have not had to do this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can
Jean?
can you just explain briefly what happened that caused this?
A lot of it,
Justin said maybe more attention to detail should have been looked at previously. But
Yeah,
How,
well-
how far back are you talking? Not 2 weeks, not 2
We don't
months.
have sorry, Brian, I'll let you go.
So a lot of it's because of overdue taxes and FEMA that we haven't claimed. So we paid off the loan for FEMA and we haven't received that money. So that's an expense that we paid. So it's cut us short in the general fund. And if you've been aware and followed it, we've brought that general fund down a lot over the years to try to cut the tax rate. And we didn't have that in the general fund to kind of cover some of that.
That's a good point, and I think that you should emphasize that so people understand.
Can I add to that?
Right, George?
Just as clarification from last meeting, one of the documents included the years and the amounts that had been bought down. So based off what we were given last meeting, starting in 2004, the tax rate had been bought down by a total of $2 million. If that, is that the little extra? Thank you.
Yes, and then we have to remember the flood happened. Town budgets were blown out of control. Overages in certainly most departments, if not all departments in 23, FY 24's budget. And right now, we are in a perfect storm where we are owed money from FEMA. We are owed money through delinquent taxes, and we're caught in this precarious situation where we don't have enough cash to fund this municipality at the moment.
And I'm sure you have a plan for how to collect delinquent taxes, and what do you hear from FEMA?
I'm waiting on an obligation letter from FEMA. I need it in writing, how much they're gonna reimburse us.
I'm working them every week.
Yeah, the federal government.
Yep, I'm working them every week.
Um,
So on our website with the agenda from June 11th, it has those documents, Jean. It is a perfect storm, unfortunately, and it's not one person's fault. And no one wants to judge the past in terms of what they thought was the right thing to do. And if you look back at this time, it was during the implementation of Act 60. And so they were probably doing the right thing with trying to beat that tax rate.
And those documents are part of,
They're on the website, yeah.
okay.
They were uploaded to the June 11th meeting, is that what it was?
Yes.
And then you throw in a couple of floods,
And, right,
it skews everything. And then you look at our operating costs, I led with that. The fixed costs, things like heating oil, electricity, insurances, everything that the everyday person is enduring,
mhm.
it has hit the municipality very hard.
Mhm.
So our fiscal year '26 operating costs are extremely high, in many cases outside of what we projected. So it's a
And this is
combination of those things.
And it's shown light on a system that was not operating efficiently. To be quite frank with everybody, I've been racking my brain as to systems and processes and controls to ensure that this never happens again. And I've got a pretty good groundwork laid, and, you know, nobody likes to be blindsided by $1 million TAN. We don't want it, I don't think anybody does want it, but our job up here is to make sure that this town is solvent and pays its bills. That $799 going to the school board has to go June 27th. So here we are. The trick is to learn from this and make sure that going into the future, we have much more strict financial controls.
The other huge payment we made was $12 million to Montpelier.
But-
Twice a year.
Right, but we know that.
We know that,
And other,
but it also helps offset cash flow.
right, understand. But we know we have to pay that, every other town has to pay it as well. Maybe not the same amount.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that's,
Yep.
you have to plan for that.
So as we enter fiscal year '27, it is all mine.
And I believe that that will make a difference, really.
I'm looking forward to the implementation of fiscal year '27, and I do have ideas as well that I will be talking to the board about. All mine in terms of town manager, no disrespect to the board. You know what I mean? Okay.
Don't worry, budget season will be really fun. We'll have a good time.
We never had a budget season.
So the only, if I can.
Go ahead, George.
So the only question I had when I read through the documents for the TAN was on number 3, page, I think it's number,
We may need page 3.
no, it's on page 4, number 3, under conditions. Or it's further to be here certified, blah, blah, blah. Then there's a list of numbers. And I just want to make sure, because it's limiting how much, if we need to sign for more debt, that we are not anticipating having to sign a bond for the dams before we pay this back. Because our known expense is currently over, and just for the record, I'll read this so everyone understands. Number 3, during the current calendar year, the town will not issue debt of any sort aggregating 10 million or more. And just as a known expense, the dams are currently estimated at 11 million. So I just want to make sure that we're not agreeing to this and then we are expected to go bond for that 11 million.
Within a year, I highly doubt that.
I just want to make sure before that was my only concern when I read this. I was like,
We
I
are
don't
not-
want to tie our hands.
We are
Okay.
not going to
Okay, thank you.
bond for 11 million, and I'm looking at every angle to avoid that in general.
I know that's worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we don't tie our hands, that was something that we hadn't heard about. Okay, thank you.
Yep, good point.
Is that document part of the select board packet that isn't currently posted on the town website, or is that something that?
I think once they sign it,
Yeah,
we can upload it.
What Mr. Tucker just read through is
Yeah.
perfect for today.
It's a motion of the board.
I make a motion to approve the tax anticipation note as presented.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? Being no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Guys opposed? Guys have it.
Pass this around, there's 2 pages. last page. This page. Blue ink, please. And then Ula signs this one.
I would like to say I appreciate the town manager bringing this to us. I appreciate the town clerk and treasurer bringing this to us. And rest assured, the mechanisms will be put in place. And, you know, Ms. Cook gives us ledgers every month at the select board meetings to look at where our budget stands. That doesn't include anything but our past budget. But budgets float. So if it's 60% one month, it could be, oh, they've used 80 or 90% the next month if it's ending on a fiscal year or something. So there's gonna be more due diligence and strict adherence to the budget is, I guess, what I'm saying.
Okay, moving on, municipal manager update.
I just have a few things. Thank you all. We will have a busy select board meeting in July. Just a heads up, some flood recovery pieces. Hoyle Tanner will be here, engineering firm, that's looking at Clark Bridge. That will be an information-only session. They'll provide an overview of 4 different alternatives. Again, no decision, we're waiting on FEMA to provide their final allocation for that project. So it will be an opportunity for the public, the board, to ask questions, to understand the 4 alternatives that they're kind of exploring or drilling into more deeply. I talked with Mr. Buswell and with Brenda Clark, Miss Clark. Brenda will be out of town, but Mr. Buswell will be here, and I'll remind him about the meeting. He wants to come and listen.
So that would not, Brenda Clark and Mr.
Buswell, I just know him as Mr. Buswell.
Don
Don.
Buswell.
Thank you.
And they are maybe property owners?
They're the landowners.
We're the only 2
Okay.
parcels.
Sorry. Thank you. So that's one thing. We have an RFP out on the street for a stream bank stabilization project at 35 Route 100 South. If you recall, during the flood, this was Mrs. Alma Goodman's property where the bank undercut and her septic system is in jeopardy. So the town received funding and approval to do this project. So we are working with the state and we're working with USDA and RCS on that one. So that RFP's out. Purchases, all departments are still on pause for purchasing because of the budget situation. I am giving the okay for emergency and or absolutely needed purchases. For example, fuses for the irrigation at Dorsey Park, water system, a broken axle on the trackless. We need it for mowing the dams, and rebuilding a submersible mixer at wastewater treatment facility, although that's a village. But anyway, it gives you a flavor of what we're allowing and not. And then finally, performance evaluations, I am wrapping those up. Fiscal year 26, I am going to change the fiscal year 27 performance evaluation that my direct reports have, all the department heads, it's about 10 people. We don't need 8 pages to gauge performance and conduct. We can say what we need to say and offer them an opportunity to provide feedback on performance and conduct. So I'm going to downsize that from 8 pages to maybe 2.5, 3.
Good.
those are my updates for today.
Fred?
Do you do, job evaluations on everybody or just department heads?
Everybody, all department heads have turned in, I would say 99% of their
Also?
direct reports as well.
Okay.
They have a different form. It's about 3 pages. We do.
Okay, other business? We got any other business? Executive session, personnel contract, legal issues?
Back up 2 things
Oh.
on other business, please take one and pass it on. We have an awesome 250th, in case you didn't know, America's turning 250 years old, and we're planning some pretty cool events. So there's that one, 250 celebration. We also have a visionary plan that we are developing for our downtown area. No, it's not select board purview, but it is in their purview. So this is an awesome opportunity to provide feedback on what do you think of downtown? Let's hear it from signs to beautification to sidewalks to curbs to parking, pedestrian safety.
Pedestrian safety.
Anyway.
Big one.
I can get you all one of those too. So that's all I have for other business.
I appreciate you ending on a high note. It's things like, you know, a 250 celebration with floats that can bring our community together, so thank you for.
I want to mention that this one is this Sunday.
It is this Sunday at the Ludlow Farmers Market. Sorry, thank you.
This is your
Provide-
second one,
Provide input.
is that correct?
Um,
Is this your second meeting with this?
Yeah, the other one was the all boards.
The 15th?
Yeah, it was good. There'll be more opportunities.
So, is there executive session, personnel contract, legal issues?
I don't need one.
No, okay. Motion to adjourn,
I will make that motion.
Second.
second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Guys opposed, guys have it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for
Thank you.
showing up.